Hello, and welcome. Happy Wednesday, everyone. I'm super excited to be here with each and every one of you. Just trying to get this so it sits upright. Anyone have any tips on how to get this to sit upright? Really wish I knew. Let's see if I can fix it so I can sit upright. Oh, that's a little bit. Anyway, hello and welcome. If you are here with me, take a moment to share out the show, comment, say and like, whatever it is. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to see if I can find me and let everyone know that I am here, as I've been doing my best to try to get on and be live and sharing some content with each and every one of you. I think I'm here. Let's see if this is the right page. There we go. I am. All right. So you are here with me. Say hello. Let me know that you are here. Share this out. I have an amazing topic for us this evening. But before I dive into our topic for the night, let me go ahead and introduce who I am, what I do, and who I serve, and how I serve you for that matter. So I am Reverend Dr. Joanne Barry Clone, the founder of Holistic Fitness and Why. As someone that guides women over 40, helping them to release emotional weight without dieting, while holding space as they gain confidence and courage to step away from their 9 to 5, old subconscious beliefs, and outdated relationships. My mission, my purpose, my intention is to witness each one of you as you slowly step into your soul purpose unapologetically. Remember, the W is all about your whole person. You're more than your physical body, your thoughts, your emotions, your mind, your soul, and spirit. So with that being said, let's take a dive in on this topic I have prepared for you for tonight: menopause and astrology. That's pretty heavy when we think about it. Menopause and astrology. How the two even come together. And how this topic came up tonight is a conversation I was having with some of my students from my Astro Insight play shop. Perhaps you've heard about it. We're getting ready to meet on May 24th for our monthly session. And some of them reached out to me today because they wanted to chat. And the question that one of the students asked was, why is it when I speak about astrology, it's mostly relating to health, wellness, fitness, and nutrition, and it's not the general astrology that most astrology speak on in reference to looking at a specific house and talking about relationships or talking about money or career. And in a sense, it is. However, I always tie it into our health, fitness, wellness, and nutrition, and rightfully so, because for one, as a medical astrologer, I'm always looking at clients' charts to see what's going on regarding their health, wellness, fitness, and nutrition. So that's one. And for two, with all the energy we have going on right now with our planets, it only makes sense to talk about health, fitness, nutrition, and wellness when I chat with clients about their charts. Now, if you've never had a astral reading done by me, but you've had an astral reading done by somebody else, you definitely want to get the experience with me because it is very different. And for that matter, rather than just getting a reading, perhaps maybe you want to come and play in our play shop and really dive deeply into your chart to discover who you are on a soul level. So I'm just going to take a minute because my page is up and I just want to share out that I'm here. So if you have not done so, please do share it out. Let everybody know that I am here, that we can have a nice conversation. And hopefully you'll definitely learn something. So as mentioning, one of my students asked me today, why is it that I talk about health, fitness, nutrition, and wellness when it comes to their astrology? And there's certain houses that I look at in regards to a client's chart. The primary houses would be the 1st, the 4th, the 7th, and the 10th. Now, why would those be the primary? Well, the first house is associated with self and your identity, how you identify with yourself, and to connect it with the physical body, how you connect with your physical body. What is your identity to your physical body? Do you see your physical body as healthy? Do you see your physical body as strong? Do you see your physical body as needs improvement? How do you identify to your physical body? Now, of course, whatever zodiac sign you have in your first house will give a bigger explanation to your identification. So, for example, I happen to have Cancer in my first house, and Cancer is a water sign, so it's an emotional sign. Also, Cancer is ruled by the moon, so it really is about how I feel about my identity. Now, if I'm going to refer that energy, my identity, to my health, fitness, wellness, and nutrition, regarding a Cancerian, it really is about being at home. And for me to feel more at home in my own body, health wise, wellness wise, nutrition wise, and also fitness wise, it's so important for me to make sure I'm on track of those four things as my identity. And nevertheless, because I'm in the literally the eyeballs of the industry, being that I do what I do. So I like to know that I'm practicing what it is I'm preaching to my clients in reference to being healthy, in reference to eating healthy, in reference to everything around wellness in whole. And to me, that is important. And more so, it definitely identifies to my first house placement of Cancer. Now, maybe you are somebody that has your Gemini placement in your first house. And Gemini is the communication. How do you identify with how you communicate to your body? What do you say to your body on a regular basis? Are you giving yourself positive reinforcement? When you look at yourself in a mirror, are you saying kind things to yourself? Are you reciting affirmations? Some of those affirmations could sound like, I am strong, I am healthy, I am capable, I am creating a strong body. Those I am statements are grounding statements. Or maybe you have let's throw another one. Maybe you have Sagittarius as your first house placement. Sagittarius is fire, and it is about freedom speaking. It is about your creativity, and it is about traveling and exploring between worlds for that matter. So, how do you identify as a Sagittarius when it comes to being more free in your own body? Going sort of at your own, what's the word I'm looking for? Beating at your own drum, so to speak. So again, that first house is your identity. So when you're looking at your first house on astrology, that's identifying how you feel about your health, fitness, wellness, and nutrition. Does it take does it take first seat in the house, or is it somewhere in the back burner? So now when we talk about the fourth house is associated with home. It's about family. It's about nurturing. It's about I like to cut it into three, where it's about your home, your career, and your physical body. So, and whatever you have in your fourth house may set the tone to that energy of how you show up regarding health, fitness, and wellness and nutrition. So now for me, when I talk about my fourth house energy, just want to pull something up. So give me a minute. So for me, talking about my fourth house energy, that is really about where first it's in Libra. So again, Libra is associated with balance, justifying. So again, relating to health, fitness, and wellness, how do I balance my health, fitness, wellness, and nutrition into my life? And how do I justify the importance behind being healthy, behind my fitness regimen, behind wellness on all, and also behind my nutritional habits? So it's really justifying it. It's the agreement that I have with myself, the understanding and the intuition behind being intentional when it comes to my health, fitness, and wellness. So again, whatever house you have in your, or excuse me, whatever zodiac sign you have in your fourth house, that is going to help you identify your physical home with your body. Because again, I like to believe our body is our home, it's our temple. We only get one. Whereas when you think about your home, your shelter, you can move from different places and call it home. When it comes to your physical body, that's your only temple you have, and how you manage it and how you treat it is going to determine on how well it treats you. So now we move into the seventh house, and the seventh house is very similar to the fourth, so to speak. It's about your agreements. It's about your belief system behind your health, fitness, wellness, and nutrition. What do you believe about it? Were you brought up in a household that believed that it was important to eat breakfast in the morning? Were you brought up in a home that it was important to go out for a walk after eating? Or have you established new habits around your health, fitness, nutrition, and wellness? So now for me, I have Capricorn theoretically in my seventh house, but more importantly, I have Aquarius in my seventh house. And why do I say it that way? Capricorn takes up a very small portion of my seventh house, but we'll talk about the Capricorn energy because rightfully, depending on one's chart, it's the opposition of Cancer. So, as Capricorn being in my seventh house, Capricorn is the work, it's the structure, it's the foundation. And rightfully so, when we talk about health, fitness, and wellness and nutrition, you are creating a foundation. You are structuring yourself to create a routine, a discipline, a focus, and a dedication to. So now we go to the 10th house energy. And the 10th house energy on my chart is in Aries. And Aries is associated with that first house, which is the identity. And it is about taking charge and being a leader. And in the 10th house energy, it's how the public sees me. So again, health, fitness, wellness, and nutrition, because I basically eat, sleep, and everything else around it, because I've been in this industry for over 4 decades, the public image sees me as someone who focuses on health, someone that focuses on fitness, someone that focuses on wellness. So see how, when we look at those 4 placements, how that has a huge connection with health, fitness, nutrition, and wellness. And we haven't even touched on all the houses in between that. So if you think about the houses in between, like if we look at the second house energy where I happen to have Leo, that is about the relationship. And Leo is about creativity, but also showing up, being seen, making a statement. So that relationship I have with my body, my health, my fitness, my wellness, what kind of statement do I want to make? And depending on the season and how much energy is being activated in that chart, in that specific house, will determine the emphasis on that house in itself. And when I say energy, what I mean by is depending on what's going on, planetarily speaking, how much energy is sitting in each one of our houses. So, for example, for all of us, we all have Neptune and Saturn sitting in our Aries placement. So, whatever house you have Aries in, we have Neptune and Saturn there. And those 2 planets, Neptune is about how you're spiritually evolving. So perhaps your health, fitness, wellness, and nutritional habits have changed a little bit with Neptune sitting in your Aries placement because you're evolving. And in order to evolve, there's just certain things that we choose to eat differently when we're in the space of spiritual evolving. We're choosing to become lighter in our body, and we're choosing to eat, you sort of organically, so to speak. And that Saturn energy is how your body is being restructured at this moment of time. So the house placements and whatever's going on in that house, transitively speaking, can definitely highlight the goal that you may have going on in your life at this moment of time. So now I did title this topic about menopause and astrology. And another conversation that I was having with my girls in my group regarding the Astro Insight class, where they were asking about why is it I speak so much about astrology when it comes to health, fitness, and nutrition and wellness. So I just explained that part of it. And then one of the other girls had asked because my recent births, I'm not sure if all of you heard, and because I have my back screen up, you may not be able to see it. But anyway, I recently written a book, and we're literally in the like early how do we say it, in pregnancy dilation state, where I'm not quite crowning, but I'm 10 days into digital launch party. So if you are interested in being invited to the digital launch party, which is being held on Zoom, where we come together, it's for 1 hour, where all of us at the same time within that hour is going to click on the link to the digital copy, so we can all purchase the digital copy at the same time. And after that particular day, 2 days later, that launch will still be going on. And the big part of this is basically to help the menopausal portal become the bestseller. So anyway, when we think about menopause, the question that was asked is, why is it that so many women today have very little bit of knowledge and understanding of what menopause actually is? And when the client asked me that today, I sat there and thought about it for a little while, and I started thinking about my mother. And I started asking myself, at what age did my mother go through menopause? Now, short story, maybe some of you don't know, my mom passed away at the age of 60, right after her 60th birthday. And from my memory, I remember one day where she was literally standing in front of the freezer with the freezer door open, stating that she was really, really, really hot. And I think she used the word that she was having a hot flash. So that is my memory of her speaking about what she called was a hot flash. And so I would assume at that moment of time, she was probably experiencing maybe perimenopause. And I don't recall how old she was, but I do know that she passed away at the age of 60. So that could have taken place, I don't know, anywhere between 55 to 60, maybe 50, 51. Who knows? But the question that was arise during the conversation that my students and I were having was, why is there not enough information out there? Why are we just learning now about the different stages of menopause? Why are we just learning now how many different types of menopause there are? And why was it something that wasn't really spoke about prior to our generation? Like, again, my mom's generation didn't really speak about it. And if they did, they spoke about it to themselves. It wasn't like a broadcasting conversation. Whereas now with my generation and generations to come, we're talking about it. In fact, obviously, I wrote a book about it. So obviously, it's a really intensive conversation, a conversation that we all need to talk about, because